Hello, this is Michael Tellinger, and today I'm talking to my good friend Scott Cundill, who's currently located all the way in Bali. But before I welcome Scott, the reason I decided to talk to Scott is because he's walked a long path with me since literally 2006, 2005, 2006. Scott Cundill has been probably one of the very first supporters of the Ubuntu movement, and also my research into the ancient civilizations and all this amazing stuff. So I wanted to talk to Scott because of what's happening in the world today. More and more people are trying to find new ways of earning a living and doing business. Things are shifting and changing so quickly. And this is really one of Scotty's specialities in the area of data and online and IT. Since I've got an ongoing problem with IT and so forth, I thought Scott would be a great guy to talk to also help inspire some of the Ubuntu supporters and the people that follow me on the ancient civilizations research, learn from what Scotty has discovered and what Scotty is doing in this area, and hopefully this might be of benefit to you somehow. So welcome, Scott Cundill.
Oh, Michael, good to be back with you, man. Oh, I know you're right. It's been a long road. And I remember those days so far back, and I remember you did a huge, your Slave Species of God book was like exploding, and you did that coast to coast with George Nuri. And before that interview, a couple of months before, we had this discussion. You were like, what do I do? Like, how do I capitalize on this? And I said, get your email database going, get that email database. It's going to follow you wherever you go in the world, and it will just grow. And it's just beautiful to watch that database grow, Michael. I mean, all the travels that you've done, all the books that you've written, all the speeches and presentations and talks, the languages that your books have been translated into, and just to watch your database just thrive is beautiful, man. So well done, hey?
Well, Scotty, thanks, man. If it wasn't for you and the system that you'd set up at that stage, Majestic, which I'll talk about more, I would not have had a database, because what did I know? I just I'm as non-IT as one can get. So and this is why I constantly talk about the fact we got IT problems and website problems, and it's just, as I sit and talk to you right now, it's an ongoing problem. So in any case, but listen, so when I launched Slave Species of God in 2005, late 2005, I think it was, you offered me your Majestic database service, because at that stage you developed this new brilliant way of capturing people's details and utilizing it for their benefit, obviously, so they can get information from whoever it is that they were signing up to, and vice versa. So there was a very fluid two-way information traffic flow, or traffic information flow, and you called it Majestic. And that's what I'm still using today. So that's incredible. I'm still using your Majestic database system that I launched, or that you allowed me to use in 2005, still using that today. So everyone that gets my emails on the Michael Tellinger website, and everyone that gets the emails on the Ubuntu Planet website, is getting it because of your generosity and your continued support of the Ubuntu movement and my own research. So thank you, Scott Cundill. I think you're probably the first true supporter and ongoing supporter of the work that I've been doing. So without you, I would have been able to pull this off in many ways.
And it's never going to change. That support will always continue, man. It's amazing what you're doing, and we're watching it comes in, and you mentioned it. And there's two things, Michael, first of all, you talked about how difficult IT is and how stuff just doesn't work. But I also want to talk about that data side, because lately I've been really, really getting more annoyed, but not surprised. So we cannot, and I'm sure the people watching this now, because they've been following you for a while, they cannot be surprised that social media is now pulling down anything they disagree with. Yes. Please don't be surprised, guys. It drives us mad. You, Michael, have been banned as well from Facebook. You can't post, you can't block, you're in Facebook jail.
Yeah, I haven't even put the notice out there, because there is really no other way other than putting a notice on my website, which I think I may have done. If not, I need to do it after this conversation with you. So I haven't posted on Facebook for over a month now, and they keep telling me you're blocked for another month. You blocked. So I'm blocked for a month, but it's perpetual. It goes on and on. So I'm just blocked from Facebook right now. I can't post, I can't comment, can't do anything. And this is all the website on all the pages. And there, I think I manage like about 200 Facebook pages with all the different countries for Ubuntu, different historic websites, archaeological websites, and so forth, or pages, I mean. So this is quite big. So I can't even let the people know that I'm banned from Facebook. So
it's just, you disappeared. They've cut you off at the knees. And
yeah.
we've seen this, and you're not the only one. It's happened to so many different speakers. And like we always, you know, the other side, the sort of really sort of, you know, conservatives look at it and go, oh, well, you've been peddling misinformation or something. But actually, it's not true. Twitter banned EJ Med, the European Journal of Medicine, one of the most prestigious journals, medical journals in the world. They banned it completely from Twitter. Why? Because somebody was talking about the drug ivermectin. We've watched this happen over and over again. Even actual mainstream stuff, doctors are being censored. It's not just these radical weirdos, it's people with really good scientific information that are being blocked. And it's actually got to the point, Michael, and I've been watching this for the last couple of years, and it's been getting worse and worse. And then COVID hit and the shit hit the fan. And I'm like, okay, people have livelihoods on social media. I mean, there's social media websites, there's social media Facebook pages. They generate income from it. And the big ones can afford to move across to alternative platforms and et cetera, but it's expensive, it's time consuming. And as you've learned, actually not that easy from a technical perspective. Yeah. And over the last year and a bit, I've been quietly developing a little Chrome app to take back data. And that's why we wanted to chat to you about this today, because the second thing that you talked about is how difficult things are to use. I wanted to create something that was so easy and so simple that you could basically take back your data and you could start working in an environment, business environment, where actually you don't have to worry about this BS. And sorry for keep hopping on this, Michael, but it's actually ridiculous. I was on Facebook, WhatsApp the other day, okay? On a WhatsApp group. I'm having a chat on a WhatsApp group and somebody brings up the place Bora Bora, the island Bora Bora. So I think, gee, I know I've heard of this place. Sounds like an interesting place possibly to visit, whatever. I go to Google and I type in Bora Bora. Pops up with a map. I click on the map to see where it is. Oh, that's where it is. I close down Google. Within hours, I've got an email from booking.com, a private corporation with a special for Bora Bora, which means WhatsApp and Google are selling the data to private corporations who somehow match my email address to be able to email me. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Facebook and WhatsApp are just, they're harvesting our data like we're cabbages.
So by now, anyone in our circle of awareness, enlightenment, and consciousness will be aware of this. If they're not, then they'll become aware of it very quickly. So we've reached a stage now where we can't depend on Facebook. We can't depend on other social media networks. We've got to take control of our own data, our own databases, our own ability to communicate with the people that are interested in what it is that we do. And this is really what you've become an expert and a specialist in, and you've spent the last 25 years doing it. I mean, the first time I met you in Cape Town, I'll never forget that first time I met you in Komiki. We were at your brother's birthday party, at Liam's birthday party, yeah. And that's where I met you for the first time. I think that must have been like 1998 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
You started telling me about this idea, and Majestic, you're just about to launch this Majestic thing. So that's how far back it is. Oh my God, that's more than 20 years ago, Scotty. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was founded 20 years ago. And interestingly, Michael, I first knew about you when my same brother Liam, delivered a tape to me, an audio cassette of your song called Rainbow People. And I was a teenager, my friend. And I love that song. And I talked to you about that before. And for those listening, I think, Michael, you got to put that song again up. It's a beautiful song. And I think it's so relevant today.
Well, it's on YouTube for those that are interested in my previous life when I was still a musician.
Listen to Michael's song, guys. Rainbow People, Michael Tellinger. It's amazing. It's such a great song. So I love that song.
So Scott, just for people that don't know this, Scotty has been doing this and developing, has become an expert in this field. He's been doing this for well over 20 years. And so when I first met Scotty, he had this database management thing called Majestic. And slowly but surely he evolved out of that. And that's why I wanted to talk to him today, is about recognizing how to take back your data, how to take back and control and manage your database to the most effective and efficient way possible, because the times are changing. And there might be thousands of people listening to this and watching this that are struggling with business or thinking about changing their business or adapting their business. Like I've had to adapt my business because my business is in tourism. Tourism is dead. So I've lost everything because the tourism industry in South Africa was just killed. Well, not just in South Africa, all over the world, it's been killed totally. So Scotty, I'm going to let you talk. And just how can people that are watching this, how can they learn something from this that they can put to good use so that it can help their business, help their survival, because times are hard, times are tough. And we need to start helping each other. And that's what Ubuntu and the whole contributionism philosophy is all about, to start helping each other. Because if we help each other, then we all survive, we all stay strong. But if we all just try and milk each other, that becomes the huge problem that we face at the moment. So please share some wisdom with our viewers here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it, Mike, people helping people, not people helping an interface, which is helping an AI, which is helping Zuckerberg, which is helping Gates and all these billionaires become more richer. It's people to people and trying to avoid this kind of middleman nonsense. And the middleman's been around for centuries. And for the first time in the last sort of couple of decades, we have the first chance with the birth of the internet to remove the middleman. But all it's done actually is it's perpetuated the middleman, because they keep hijacking great systems. Social media as a concept is fantastic. It's brilliant. Hijacked again for corporate needs. So what do? We've got to go back to people to people. Now, what I looked at, as you said, in the last 20 years, I looked at the best social media platform for this, which is LinkedIn. Most people have a LinkedIn page. They probably don't do too much with it. But LinkedIn has got by far the best data on individuals that you can get. They've got company names, where your job was, what schools you went to, where you're working, how big your company size is, all of that kind of thing. Photographs, all of that. Email addresses as well. So
by saying that, you're saying that it's a credible source of information, which is really important, because Facebook can put up bullshit and get away with lying and conning people. Are you saying that it's more difficult to get away with lying and conning somebody on LinkedIn?
Much more difficult, especially if you ignore the kind of posts and stuff, because that crap can still happen. But the real stuff is that unless it's a fake LinkedIn profile, of which there are many, and I'll explain to you why that gets eliminated from our system. But what actually happens, Michael, is that you're right, that data is highly credible. So I've taken email addresses out of people from LinkedIn, emailed them, and we do this for clients all the time using a proper Opt-10 methodology. And it's 99.2, 98.8, 98.8 to 99.2% accurate. Wow. So it's up to date, it's accurate, it's really, really high quality data. But here's the thing, it's not your data. So when you put your data onto LinkedIn, and here's my friend Michael Tellinger, and here's a bunch of other people, that's LinkedIn's data. My son is on LinkedIn, that is LinkedIn's data, not yours. This is what we have to understand. You don't own that data, but you have a legal and lawful right to that data, thanks to an EU court case from a couple of years ago. You're allowed to take that data. If somebody accepts a LinkedIn connection, you can take that data and you can duplicate it and you can have it as part of yours. So what we did was we built a little extension, a little app that sits on top of LinkedIn, and it pulls your data back, and it pulls people that you know as well, only people that you know and trust. So what you're doing is you're creating a network of people that you know and trust. And that network of the people you know and trust gets expanded to other people they know and trust. So it's only a trusted network within LinkedIn, but with you pulling your data back. Have I explained that right? I'm so close to it that sometimes I think it's simpler than it is.
I just want to make sure that people don't think that you're illegally extracting information from LinkedIn. That's not what's going on here. Is that not at all. People are visible, they're available to everybody on LinkedIn. You found what it sounds to me like, and I'm using your system. It's just I haven't used it effectively and efficiently yet, but I know that you've got a lot of customers and clients that are using it incredibly effectively and efficiently for their businesses. And this is really the reason I'm talking to you, is if there's anyone watching this that wants to use your services and your skills and abilities in this, then contact Scott Cundill and let him talk you through this. So you've found a way that you can use LinkedIn without jeopardizing anybody's privacy or what's the word, intellectual property and secrecy. What's the word I'm looking for?
Data privacy.
Without compromising any of that, you found a way of utilizing that. So people who choose to opt in and join your new circle that you're creating from the LinkedIn circle that you already have. I have 5,000 contacts on LinkedIn, right? So out of those, let's say 10% of those might be people that I choose to trust and bring into my most trusted inner circle. That's 500 people. Now imagine if everybody else does that, suddenly your most trusted circle expands, and you could have hundreds of thousands of most trusted people because of the people that you trust, and vice versa. And is that, in a nutshell, what this comes down
to? That's it. That's basically right. And it sounds crazy because that's what LinkedIn originally was supposed to do. That's what social media was supposed to do. Because you're only supposed to ever work with people you knew, not people you don't know. But of course, they got greedy and they just opened it up to everyone. They said, no, even if you don't know them, use it for sales and use it for recruitment, blah, 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 blah. So you're absolutely right. Now, if you look at what you're doing with One Small Town, Ubuntu movement, everything is coming back to the core roots. Who do you know and who do you trust? And we try to make it as simple as possible, but there is a bit of a tech learning curve, and I'll work with people to help them with that. But what we're doing on the side now, what we've launched is this kind of inner circle with only trusted connections. You pull in your trusted connections, and I can say, okay, well, I want to see who Michael's trusted connections are, or Samantha. Samantha looks like someone I'd really like to meet. I can't go directly to Samantha. I've got to talk to you, Michael, and go, would you mind introducing me to Samantha? A click of a button is all it takes. You go, why do you want to introduce to Samantha? I've got a good relationship with her. I'm not going to, if you're going to spam her with some crap, I'm not going to let you. So it keeps the integrity of business together, wipes out all the bullshit, right? Because there is so much fake stuff and all just the nonsense that gets posted on there. And it brings it back to a grassroots level. And I'm not saying we've got the perfect system yet, but we've now got 1,200 active users, and we want to get to 10,000, because if we get to 10,000, we start becoming a player, and we can then really, really start to make the difference. And in a second, I'll tell you how I see you fitting in with that. But that's the goal, Michael. Just get 10,000 people onto this app. Just use it. It's so, I wanted to say easy. It's easy for me, but you can learn how to do it and just think differently.
And what do you call the app, Scotty?
It's mymosttrusted.net.
Mymosttrusted.net. So if people want to learn about it, do they first go to the website, mymosttrusted.net? And
mymosttrusted.net. Yeah, and then just straight, you install it. The installation, you don't even fill out a form to install it. You fill out a little Chrome extension, you plug in a Chrome extension. Now Google, if you haven't installed a Chrome extension before, it can be a little bit cumbersome, but it normally takes about 30 seconds. It's very, very quick. You install a little Google Chrome extension, okay? And what then happens is you just go to LinkedIn and you don't even register. It pulls your data out of LinkedIn straight away because you've already registered. It pulls your data, pulls your photograph, pulls your data, creates a new little page for you. And this is your page, and now you own that data. You own a copy of your data. You then go to a bunch of other people, people you know and trust, first degree connections on LinkedIn, and you add them to My Most Trusted. So now you've got 10, 20, 30 of them. They do the same, and you can see their trusted connections, and then you can create these little circles, these little
circles. Oh, that's brilliant, man. That's brilliant. I get it. Now, finally, I get it. I mean, I've been using the system very, very badly, on a very, very low surface level, because I'm just too busy with doing too many other things. But I think people that actually run a business and would be focused on this would be a walk in the park for them. This is fantastic. So now that you've explained it in more detail to me, I think I'm going to put a lot more attention to this and actually make it very useful to me the way it should be. So,
well, remember, Michael, you've used the classic SES system, the email, the forms on your page, building your email database. This new LinkedIn process, like plugin, is a recent addition. And we are using it on your LinkedIn profile. Remember, we are sending your.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So you've been doing it behind the scenes without me realizing it. See, that's another without me even realizing it. So thanks, Scotty. Yeah. Okay. So is there anything else you want to share with people that might be interested in this, and just answer what would the frequently asked questions be, like the 3 most frequently asked questions that people would want to have answered?
The first one is, what is the cost? And the answer to that is it's free up until 30 people. So we're never going to make our money. Well, I shouldn't say never. Maybe we will one day. But it'll be a long time before we make the money back in terms of our investment on this. So what we've done is we've made it free for up to 30 people in your database. Once you go up to a certain level, then you pay $49 once off. That's US dollars once off for the year. We split that 50-50. And so I want to give half of that to the One Small Town movement, because it's just such a great initiative. Wow. So anybody who signs up, and then, yes, but you can use most of it for free. But just if you really want to get serious, you pay a once off fee of $49. Half of that goes to One Small Town. And then obviously, if you want more assistance, we can do a lot more around your LinkedIn and getting your business set up from there. And we can talk about that separately. But really what matters now, Michael, the most important thing is, I believe, we need to pull that data out of LinkedIn and get it onto the system. And the second frequently asked question is how complicated it is from a technical perspective. It's not that difficult, but you might have a tech curve. There's videos on the website on mymosttrusted.net. Watch the videos, get it installed. They're only a couple of minutes long. Go through the process, and you can start working it relatively quickly. So that would be the second one. So if you're technically literate, it'll be so easy. If you're not, you just got to watch a couple of videos. And then the third one is always, okay, I'm stuck. What do I do? How do I get support? And then what I'm keen to do is just if you come through, guys, I'll help you. We'll put a good little group together. I'll help you guys. We'll work together. We'll form a nice network wherever you are in the world. And we'll say, how can we help each other as businesses?
Well, maybe you can start doing these once a week Zoom calls with people to learn, explain how to use it and how to, like all these other things that are launching or new things launching all the time, whether it's cryptocurrencies or whatever. There's so many things launching that I get invited to all the time that do these weekly training sessions and group Q&As and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, well, it's all online now. So there's so many people doing it. And I think this is also a problem because we just tech overload. And I don't blame people that want to just put their hands up and guys, I've had enough. I've got lots of people leave Facebook. WhatsApp was hacked. I don't know if people know that. 500 million WhatsApp numbers are available on Telegram. You can buy them. Or if you've been on WhatsApp for more than a year, your number's hacked. It's out there. So it's a disaster. It's a data. You've got Facebook now launching and WhatsApp launching these new privacy laws, which comes into effect now. And that just basically, starts to shred your data even more. We're being screwed over left, right, and center. It's just ridiculous. So if this one little thing that we built here can help people take back their data and start creating a trusted network of people, and it can work for you, then I hope I've helped some people, because I know how difficult it is for people like you, Michael, to transcend when all you had was an easy to use Facebook page where you just can't use these anymore. It's not enough. You have to get off these channels, guys.
Well, Scotty, that's awesome. So finally, the website to go to is
mymosttrusted.net. Maybe put it in the description of the.
I will do that. I'll edit this video when we're done, and I'll put it on my YouTube channel. So, listen, Scotty, thanks very much, man. And I hope that that this little chat we had will help some people in some way that are sick and tired of the current social media, that have a large database, that would like to use it in a new, clever, innovative way, and hopefully you can help them, and hopefully they can benefit from it the way that I have benefited from your support for all these bloody years. This is awesome.
No, it's an absolute pleasure, Michael. And once again, let me do your punt for you. The One Small Town initiative is amazing. I know you're about halfway to achieving your target of $10,000 a month. You're looking for people, $50, $100 a month they contribute. If anyone's listening to this that don't know about that, just whatever you can. It really is. Michael has put so much work into this office, and the Ubuntu office and that whole movement. We've been together through thick and thin, Michael. We did the politics together. We went through the bank's court case together. The Ubuntu party running for parliament, all that kind of stuff. The stuff Michael's doing is legit, guys. I mean, he's literally sitting there working the stuff day in, day out. It's his life. So please, what is it? The patron page, I think you call it, Michael.
Yeah. Well, just go to ubuntuplanet.org or onesmalltown.org. And scroll down halfway on the homepage, you'll see Become a Patron, and just click on Become a Patron. It'll take you to our new Patreon page, and choose from $5 to $100. So ultimately, this is about your thing. So let's not focus on One Small Town, but
our thing. It's contributionism.
Yes, contributionism is in the air. So there was something I was going to say now, and I got completely sidetracked. Oh, I was going to say, for those who don't know, Scott Cundill and I were in court together against the banks in 2010, 10, 11, 12, 13. For 3 years, we were in nearly 4 years, we were in court against the banks, first Standard Bank, and then all the other banks, and eventually the Constitutional Court, 5 banks, including the South African Reserve Bank. So Scotty was involved in those court cases with me, and he was one of the inside think tank partners that I had. We would get together virtually every day and write strategy, write papers, write our arguments, write everything that we would take into the court, into the Supreme Court of Johannesburg, where we would represent ourselves as lay people, as laymen, against the highest paid lawyers and advocates in the world. So Scotty was on that journey with me, in case you didn't know that. And I'll never forget that very first day when we were in court together. They actually lumped us together. We had two separate court cases, two separate entities, and they threw us in the same court case, in the same hearing, thinking that we're some sort of a weird cult group. And in fact,
they had no idea what was going on. They were so confused. In their court papers, they even called me you and you me. They got the names mixed up. One day we should tell the story on an interview like this, Michael. People won't, they literally won't believe it. Remember we dropped the documents at the Reserve Bank in that basement. We had to drive to the Reserve Bank to actually submit those and serve them with those documents. And there's photographs in that, and then those big things with the Constitutional Court. No, that's a story that needs to be told. And those who are listening to this, the darkness is real. The evil is real. It is absolutely, we've seen it firsthand. All those conspiracy theories that say the courts have been overrun by evil presences, they are there and they are present, bowing and praying for judgment to the Lord with black robes and all that. Whoa, one day.
Yeah, it's classic. I'll never forget also that very first day in court when you and I were there together, and this judge was there, and he was really a very switched on kind of guy he was
great,
actually sitting in a substitute judge for another judge, and he was a very switched on guy. He actually was paying interest to what we were saying, because this was a pastime thing for him. He was just a stand-in judge for the day, and then they called us a cult group. Do you remember? They said they represent a cult group. And then he said, "Oh, that's interesting." Anyway, and then we went home for the next day, and then we had to come back the next day or the next week, I think. And I went home and I researched a cult group and what are the rights of a cult group. And I realized that any religion is regarded a cult group, and therefore you have all the support and protection of a religious movement. So I thought, great, let's go back into court and say, yes, we are a cult. We are a cult movement, and therefore we have all this protection. Anyway, as you said, that's a whole nother story.
A huge story. I mean, it was incredible, Michael. But yeah, no, it's great talking to you. We should definitely pick up on that, because that was very interesting. What we've learned has also got a lot, because I'm getting people approach me about that, about how to create. A lot of people are very worried, as they should be, about the legal rights for the vaccines. Like how do you avoid a vaccine? What can you do about it? And I spoke about this before in another video, and that was about creating nonprofit organizations and how you work with NPOs within the law. So, and that's another thing we should potentially look at, because what we've learned in the court system and how we went about it, although we technically failed, let's face it, we were never going to win. We learned so much. And for those people who want to understand how to delay the process as long as possible, we could probably give a lot of advice on that as well.
Yeah. And just before we get too boring and waffle off on a completely different tangent, remember we started talking about Scott Cundill's amazing ability to use your data, use your database, so that you can benefit from it and help to grow your business and actually secure your income and secure your life and everything into the near future and in these difficult times today. But just finally, that day that we went to deliver that 1,000-page argument document, which was when we launched the Constitutional Court case against the South African Reserve Bank, and we were in the basement of the South African Reserve Bank in Pretoria, and we said, we've come to deliver documents to serve judgment on the bank, and they couldn't understand what it meant. They thought that the bank was suing us. And they thought we come to talk to the bank to try and do a deal because the bank was busy suing us. Because no one has ever come there.
Ever done it.
South African Reserve Bank. We were the first ever, as far as I know, to do that. And that's why it caused so much confusion. And they sent out some serious heavyweight hitter because they got so confused. It's a beautiful story. We'll do a separate talk about that.
I look forward to that, Michael. Thank you.
All right. Well, until next time, those of you that want to use your data properly, go to
mymosttrusted.net.
Excellent. All right, Scotty, until next time.
Thanks, boy. Cheers.
Bye for now.